So, it all happened kind of fast, was the thing. The world would open, and for a little while, demons could just run right through, out into the world, like it was no big deal. And Vlatherix had. He'd rounded up a few of his buddies as fast as he could, and he'd rushed out into Galarian, hooting and hollering. And for a little while, they had the time of their eternal lives. I mean, just being out there, where all the mortals were, there were so many chances for wantonness and cruelty. It was better than they'd ever imagined. Over the course of a few days or weeks, the number in Vlatherix's group dwindled as a rogue demon slayer popped up here, or one of their number wandered off for some more permanent mayhem there. No big deal, demons didn't form particularly lasting friendships. By the time he found that weird garden thing in the middle of nowhere in Numeria, 100 miles from anything else, there were only 3 incubi left. They were a little bored, so in they went. And it was a wonderland. They didn't even want to move on for a while. This place was just perversion all the way down, and the weird poison gases honestly added to the whole deal, just enhanced every sensation. But still, after a few years, the sort of short demon attention span and sort of hollowness of the experience of torturing people that didn't actually exist started to wear on Vlatherix and his friends. He wanted more. He wanted out. So he and his remaining buddies tried to get out. Turned out it was harder than they'd expected it to be. Anyway, to make a long story short, eventually they figured things out, worked their way through the puzzles, and the 3 incubi found their way to the exit of the garden and the weird, bulgy-headed robot AI who ran it. And they tried to get past him. Only he wasn't having it. He offered them permanent positions in the Hollow Garden as recurring cast members. They could enjoy the pleasures they'd already been enjoying for free. Plus, they'd get the chance to torture anyone new who was foolish enough to wander into the garden. What wasn't to love? Except, they were bored. They'd already decided to leave, so they said no, and they tried to leave. And Selmac, the AI, killed Vlatherix's friends in a horrifically violent fashion. Vlatherix tried to run, got caught, tried to teleport away, hit a dimensional lock, and finally gave up and managed to negotiate a deal with the proprietor of the garden. He would stay, he would help, he would torture, but if he could find any mortals foolish enough to take his place and agree to stay on forever, Selmac would let him go. Had to work eventually, didn't it? This is Pod Against the Machine.
Pod Against the Machine.
Welcome back to Pod Against the Machine, the only Pathfinder actual play that's just going to pretend that everything is normal now. It's always been normal. Pretty sure you're the one that's being weird. I'm your host, and here's everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And it's you being weird.
It is.
You and
not,
Jeff's webcam.
Not anyone in the call.
The royal you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened last week? How to even describe what happened last week? Well, specifically just in the last part of last week's recording, the party realized that the Vargas they were traveling with was not the Vargas that they knew and loved. So they had a little bit of an argument with him, eventually got him to reveal that he was in fact an incubus named Vlatherix who had been instructed by the operator of Hollow Garden to keep them busy forever. It's unclear. He tried to convince them to just kind of take his place so he could get out of Hollow Garden and they could just hang out for a couple hundred years. The party wasn't really willing to do that. They were slightly willing to kill him, which he didn't like. So he let them go, and they doubled back through the portal, which solved the never-ending portals puzzle, and teleported to a room with a couple of huge broken robots that were still animated despite being broken, and one weird mannequin robot with a bulging head and some cool glasses. That turned out to be Selmac, the AI that was running Hollow Garden, who offered to make the party permanent members of the cast of his little operation there. They weren't super interested in that, and a fight ensued, and most of the episode was the fight. There were pits, there was smashing, there was psychic teleporting, there was a weird spell that made it hard to hit him. A dog fell asleep from having its brain shut down. Lotharik showed up and had his brain shut down. Eventually, the party struck Selmac down, which killed the robot that had been still alive and all the lights in the Hollow Garden. They got a bunch of cash and prizes, and were free to go after that. They took Lotharik's with them. Kira took a quick stop back in the room where she had met with the copy of Parda, just to say one last goodbye, and then they emerged in the Numerian countryside, finding that the garden that the Hollow Garden had been inside was in fact just emptied Numerian plains and a hole in the ground. And it was night, and they were tired and hungry, and probably, just like a little bit not feeling normal after things were a little bit weird for a minute there. And that's where we are now. They did also level up. So perhaps the first thing we should do is talk level ups. Or is the plural levels up?
Levels up, probably. That sounds fancier.
I believe it's levels ups.
Fair.
Right in.
Right in is up there with 27 dresses for me and never not being funny. Just like it's like 3 words. I'm like, ha ha ha. Yeah. I guess right in is 2 words.
So
is
it's 27 dresses.
That's fine. It's okay. It's Tuesday. I don't do this.
Yeah, this is weird. This is like a retro recording thing. We got no Skype. Everything's a little bit weird. We got no Craig. But who wants to?
Well, Craig's here. He's just still thinking.
Oh, Craig is still thinking. That's wonderful. I'm going to ban him from the server. Anyways, who wants to talk about their level up and roll some hit points?
I can go. No big changes for a level. What are we, 14?
14 sounds rightish.
14, what's it called? 14 Blood Rager. Yep, going for the Blood Rager dip. Is it still a dip if it's all 14 levels? Probably not.
It's a full-on swim now.
That's a whole swim. All right, let me roll my D10. That's a 1.
Well, I did better than that. Not well, though. It's a 3.
Oh. A 3, that's the lowest I've gotten. That is officially my lowest. My last 4 were 10, 10, 9, 10, 3.
Well, you were due.
I was due. All right. And then I get 1 new spell that I'll forget about until book 6, and we will see it then.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
I can go. It's a fine level for Brixby. It's only the capstone of Arcane Trickster.
Oh no.
So now, I will share that, and 7th level spells are the 2 things that have come for me at this level. And the capstone is the ability to add my sneak attack damage against flat-footed targets with area of effect damage. So I can sneak attack with a fireball.
Basically the worst thing that's ever happened in all of Pathfinder.
And my sneak attack is now a 7d6. And I'm a little bit more of a dangerous rat, which is what everyone should strive to be every day. That is a D6. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, that's a 2.
Oh, you beat me.
Oh, wow. Dark.
Yep.
Level 14's coming hard. Yeah, 2 is it is my lowest as well. I rolled that on level 7 as well. So I guess every 7 levels I have to have a 2.
Well, as Paul McCartney once wrote, there are 7 levels. That's a deep, deep cut. Anyways, who wants to go next to get a sterling hit point roll?
I can go since he just got the bad roll out of the way. Not a whole lot. My level did another one of Mystic Theurge, which I'm now at 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. I am 2 away from my capstone. I did not get anything big at this level. The only thing I got is a couple of Oracle spells. I got for free Cure Serious Mass. And then I got another level 7 spell, which picked a party buff spell, which I will reveal when I use it. And that's pretty much it. Not a super big level.
Oh, no big deal. Level 7 spells.
Mm-hmm. Right, so I am a D6. A 5.
6.
Ooh, nice.
Allowan's going to live forever.
Actually had a lot of 6s. Surprising number of them. That's my third 6. And I had an 8 earlier when I was still leveling regular Oracle levels. But I also have 4 2s in there, so it's not all great, but still.
So what I'm hearing is that you're going to take up tank duties?
Yeah. Actually, my HP just crossed over into the... Oh, actually, no, it already was because it was 101. Now it's 10... Oh, wait, no, it wasn't because part of that was because of my con on the level up. Yeah, so I am now for the first time in the triple digits.
Ooh, big time stuff. All right. Jeff?
Nobody else took a dip this level, so it only seemed fair that Tarazi did. I wasn't ineffective enough as a dual class, so now I am tri-classed as Tarazi takes his first level, maybe his only level, we'll see, probably not, of Inquisitor.
What? Wild.
Specifically, Tarazi did not enjoy all the confusion and mental effects that have been happening. And he lost his best friend because of one. He feels empowered to be a spell breaker and now gets to roll twice and take the better on all mind-affecting will saves. Just always.
Sick.
Wow. That's a nice level 1 ability for that.
That's a solid dip right there.
And if I do go in a couple more levels, if I wade, if you will, I get a little more out of it. But for now, that's the main thing. I get 1 judgment a day. Yeehaw. And unless we play all the way up through 18, I can't get Bane, which is fine. So, yeah. That means that now both Rusty and Tarazi are D8s. So I'll roll Rusty's first.
All right. Trying to get the bad roll out of the way. See how it is.
Yeah. Got a 2.
Got a 3.
Excellent. I'll roll for Tarazi with a different D8.
It's weird how they've been 1 off on all of them.
Ooh, a 3 for Tarazi.
Ooh, beat my 1.
That's unfortunate.
This was a rough HP level for everyone but Alwyn. All right, well, you are out of the Hollow Garden. You are in the Numerian Wastes, dozens of miles from Chesed, but dozens of miles from Starfall as well. It is late. Several people are mechanically fatigued, and you do have a demon with you who is currently not so good at thinking. What's the plan?
I can cast heal on him if we want. Actually, I don't know if that fixes that or not. Let me check the spell book in my mind to see if heal is high enough to fix that.
Pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure heal fixes feeble mind. As
Yep, heal does fix it. Yeah, I thought so.
Came up a lot in the discussions of a different podcast.
Yeah. I can cast heal on him if we think he's not going to try to hurt us now that the strange mannequin man is gone. But it's up to everybody else.
Are we going to ask him questions?
I'm not sure he knows anything.
Well, then maybe we should leave him kind of... Kira does a gesture with her, with one hand and one chainsaw.
She gestures out and you see like a robot eating another dead body off in the distance.
On one hand, this is a demon, right? This is a representative of invading army to our north. But on the other hand, this is a prison of a body that we have made. I say we heal him or we kill him, but we do not leave him like this.
That's right, Brixby's chaotic good now.
I am. And if I have to kill him, it's probably right back to neutral. I'm like right on the edge.
And Halloween is neutral, which manifests as him basically acting like Gon from Hunter x Hunter. And if people seem nice to him, he's nice to them, regardless of their overall morality. So he is going to say, when he was pretending to be your friend, he seemed nice, and he seemed like he didn't want to attack us until he absolutely had to. I don't think we should kill him.
Yeah, but he lied to us. He made us think he was someone he wasn't, and that's bad.
Deserves a death penalty.
He should die for that.
Sometimes systems cause people to injure other people in the best interest of the person that controls the system.
And Izzy is totally
I found
aligned.
this pamphlet.
He seemed a prisoner, just like we were potentially going to be. I wish I had the magics to banish him or return him to his native plane, but I don't. I'm of the mind to heal his mind and let him go. And if he chooses to fight us for some reason, we can kill him. Then it's self-defense.
Kira looks very uncertain but says nothing.
Alan will tap him on the shoulder and cast heal.
And does that need any sort of counteract, or it just...
I think it just heals it. Let me read Feeble Mind again. Subject remains in a state until a heal, limited wish, miracle, or wish is used to cancel the effect of the Feeble Mind. So I think just casting it is just one of the things that heal can remove.
All right, well, in a snap, Letherix looks much healthier, and he kind of starts blinking, and he's like, whoa, what just happened? And then, he, I think, sees the lot of you, and you were all just fighting, so he'll immediately, jump backwards and, put up his dukes and be like, whoa, what's going on?
Please give us a chance to kill you. Go on. Do something. Fight.
You don't want to hurt us, right? What is it that you really want now that you're freed of this place?
I'm free? Look around and...
Yeah, you're free to go.
Are you sure that this is real.
Yeah, no, we killed that strange mannequin that was creating the illusions. So this is all real now.
He's just going to run like 15 feet to the left and just like wave his arms like he's looking for an invisible wall. He'll be like, oh.
We all just stare blankly at him and smile.
It's like, so, number one, thank you. Sorry about attacking you back there. I kind of, it was a bad situation for me. Wasn't at my best. I'm cool with just going our own separate ways here.
Do you know how to get home?
Not really, but I know how to get started on it anyways.
Are you going to lie to any more people?
I mean, I didn't lie to...
I'm not hearing a no.
I didn't lie to all of you because I wanted to. I kind of had to with the whole, like, Selmac mind control / keeping me prisoner thing, but I, not generally nice to people as a habit.
Kira starts the chainsaw.
But we can put this in terms you'll understand. Points at the chainsaw. We have this thing called main character energy. That anybody that we touch is just destined to come back to us. Whether they malign us, they have just the slightest bit of plot relevancy. You may call this myopic. You may call this egotistical. But it's been a weird series of months. So, if you're lying, we will know. You could go, probably before you get cut to, like, doggy bag size pieces. But if we hear of you doing misdeeds, and not everything that you can to go back to the abyss, wherever, then full on chainsawing. I don't even know if they have these on your plane.
No, that's definitely the only chained saw I've ever seen. But message received loud and clear, and I accept your terms.
One more thing. You have to promise not to randomly come back and fight us with a bunch of chitons. Because that's actually happened more than once now.
I don't like chitons. That's like a whole weird vibe. I don't do the whole leather and chains thing. That's just not me, man.
Okay. Alright, perfect.
He's a tasteful incubus, after all.
Oh, yes.
It's like dripping hot wax onto his bicep as he's talking to us. And he's just like, this is fine. Yeah, no. Let's let him leave before the demon does something demonic and we kill him.
He's gonna just snap his fingers and disappear with a magic spell. And you are free of your demon friend. You have unleashed him onto the world.
Huzzah!
Take the wheel and drive.
We'll worry about that in the next AP, which I believe is sequentially, right? Isn't Wrath of the Righteous right after
No,
this
Wrath
one?
was before Iron Gods.
Before. Oh, yeah, we're undoing. Perfect.
Yeah, he's gonna go open that world wound back up.
Yes.
Pop
You
that
guys
right
gotta open
open.
it right back up.
Just gave him a seam ripper. Speaking of casting heal, Trowsy looked enviously as he is down 114 hit points.
Yeah. Yeah, assuming that we're going to go to sleep after this, I have 5 more heals, 5 Cure Mod masks, 4 Cure Serious masks, and the number just goes up as the healing goes down. I can probably heal like 1,000 points of HP right now, if I had to. So we can assume everybody has all of their negative stuff removed before we go to sleep.
Do we want to, like, pull out the spike and, like, camp? The spike only really encompasses the Halic, right? Like, we can't also camp in the illusion, can we?
Oh, you can probably sleep in the Halic. It might not be the most comfortable deal, but
Just recline the seats back.
Yeah.
Just pull up a goopy dog pillow and
We'll still do watches. Bricks will do first watch, I guess.
all right. If you want to roll on that,
Good perception. Yes. That is a 37.
with a 37, it seems to be a quiet night on the Numerian plains.
Brixby just continues scribing his scrolls. He's pretty much scribed everything that he's bought. I think he's finished after tonight. Might, need an hour on the other side, but. And then he wakes up. I guess. Kira.
Hi, it's your turn.
Thanks, Bricks.
I'm already asleep.
Oh, never mind. That's not a great roll. It's a 5 on the die, but it's a 5 plus a 32. So, 37.
Another 37. Same thing. It's a quiet night out here in the middle of nowhere.
Kira takes her time and buries a few stickers in the ground. And then wakes up. I was going to say wakes up Jeffrey, but that's not Tarazi's name. Wakes up Tarazi.
Tarazi will wake up and do a watch. Here's a perception check. Slightly lower than everyone else's with a 35.
You're
Not
so
too bad, though. Still a solid observation roll. And Tarazi doesn't see much of anything. Sun's starting to come up. Seems like y'all went to bed pretty late, but it's still quiet out there. Seems like it's going to be a cold one today.
Somehow he knows that he has the capability to do this, so he takes a bowl and casts Create Water for the first time to give Rusty a drink.
Fancy.
I have orisons. And yeah, he'll go to wake up Alwyn.
Alwyn will get up. He'll say, "Thank you, Tarazi," and go step outside and do his watch with his 60 feet of vision. It is now +0 to perception. I put a point into that in my
Whoa.
level up. It's not a negative number anymore. It's a 0. So that is that a 6 or a 9? That is a 6 on the die for a 6.
All sorts of things go on just beyond Alwyn's field of view. Just quiet enough that
The garden grows back temporarily and then
Yeah.
goes away again.
Selmac climbs up out of the ground and just walks by, whistling a little tune. And Alwyn totally misses it. But eventually morning comes. Everybody seems fine. And it is the 31st of Lamachan. We're well into autumn now. And
I'm pulling like a thick, chunky sweater and hold like a hot drink with both of my hands this morning when I sip it. Really like enjoying the fall vibes as I hit the cube.
Cube.
Let's see.
Forget about that guidance either.
Yes. And I'm smarter than I was before.
And we're still doing Rusty, right?
This is Rusty's second. Yep. So Rusty has 2 successes now.
Awesome.
Out of 6. And then, while Brixby has done most of his spell preparation, he's going to do something sort of weird this morning. And he is going to pull out a small ivory statuette that looks a lot like him. And he's going to put it down in front of him. He's going to pluck out one of his eyebrows. And he's going to pour a little bit of mercury or quicksilver on it. Stick it in the ground right in front of it. And he's going to be there for about 10 minutes. One of the spells that I picked up way back was contingency. And Brixby is casting a contingency upon himself right now. It'll hopefully keep him alive for a little bit longer as we enter into book 5. I will give away what this contingency is this time. In the future, I'm going to probably try to just message Sam or something privately, so it's just there. But this one is when Brixby is the target of an attack, mirror image is cast upon him. So because it's an immediate action, it can essentially, if Brixby's unaware of an attack and can't emergency force sphere, he can at least pop out some mirror images. So that is going to be on him for the next 14 days.
Whoa, that is a non-trivial amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that is such a fun spell.
It is. He's reached another level of the survivability onion. Do you feel like Rusty is like really into the goo, or you have to like trick him to eat the goo like it's a medicine?
I think a little bit more of the latter. Gotta,
Especially after the couple of failures.
yeah, he's a little bit suspicious of it. Gotta shake some bacon bits in there. Vegan bacon bits, of course, for all of our listeners and fellow cast members.
And traditionally, most of them are. They were literally just fried bits of textured vegetable protein with stuff on them because it's easier to be shelf stable than actual pieces of meat. There's a lot of stuff that's just vegan because it's cheaper to be so, like Oreos and stuff. It's like it's vegan because why would you even put dairy inside of that? That costs too much.
It's hard to make meat bacon last for months in a warm plastic jar.
Boy, did I eat a lot of bacon bits as a child in the 90s. The high time of the salad bar.
Oh, God. Remember salad bars? Remember life before COVID?
What
People
it took from us.
Reach right over the little sneeze guard and point at what they wanted.
Yum.
You gotta lean in under the sneeze guard
Really, get your head in there.
so that you can really see those sunflower seeds.
I definitely have this like core memory of somebody at Whole Foods trying to lift the sneeze guard up like it was a bin cover.
This is in the
Is
way.
this your first time salad barring? Like, do we need a permitting system to use the salad bar?
There's a test on the way in.
I then promptly, I took out a 10K line of credit to pay for that salad bar at Whole Foods and never went back again. I'm pretty sure it's like $15 a pound of salad there or something.
Yeah, but their kale and white bean Tuscan soup is only $30 at whatever unit soup comes in, cup or bowl, ladle.
Just
You
soup
can
unit.
steal their labor.
I'm just imagining someone carrying a ladle of soup out, like.
And then I have to attach it like the pens at a doctor's office. It's like chained to the soup
People
bar.
kept stealing our ladles.
Yeah. And thinking of it like when you see on like old westerns and stuff sometimes where they have like the dipper of water in the well and they walk it back somewhere just to have the ladle of soup.
We're fun.
My mind immediately went to a big well of kale and Tuscan white bean soup, and now I kind of want to live in whatever community has that. At least until it goes bad or we die of dehydration. But
What's the shelf life of a well of soup?
Gotta write that one down.
You just gotta cast Purify Food and Drink on it. Permanency.
It's actually a higher level when it's soup.
can you cast like gentle repose on like a chicken sandwich to like let it?
I'm gonna come back to this.
I mean, it is technically a once living creature, right? So it should work.
Does it work on airport sushi? Because I tell you what, there is no greater time when I'm craving sushi than when I am running from flight to flight. I wish that was sarcasm, but it's always like, oh, I could do sushi right now. And then I think, Aziza, don't do sushi.
I had airport ramen before that was surprisingly good for like being ramen sold in an airport.
It was only $28.
And just take out a small loan for that. It's fine.
Yeah.
So we should get going. Get back in the car. Do a little like stretching before that road trip thing where you're like, this is the last time my body's going to feel free for many hours.
So, just to remind everyone, since it has been months and months and months since episode 199, presumably. If you're headed to Starfall, you do know that carrying technology openly is a dangerous prospect, let alone driving a motor vehicle. You also, maybe some of you, have some experience with Starfall vis-a-vis what it's like to go there. And some of you may have reason to believe that your visages might be known. So, is there anything that you plan to do regarding approaching the city that is wrapped around the Silver Mount?
Oh. Pull over. That's a really good point. First off, Brixby pulls off one of the last like calendar. It's one of those 365 days of paper calendars that sits on the dashboard.
It's got Far Side Comics on it.
Yes, Gary Larson, bless. So he rips it off. Another truth told by cavemen discussing cave paintings. Perhaps a cow, the emptiness of our domestic existence. But he also gestures to the 3-1. It's the 31st.
And Halloween, on hearing that, goes, It is? And you see him dig around in his pack, and he pulls his weird flesh book that's his, what do you call it, like his religious tome. And he pulls out very carefully from, like, the back cover pressed into it, this, like, really old, beat-up looking sheet of paper. And you see him pull out a quill and make a little mark on it and then press it back in. He goes, "Thank you, Brixby."
Don't thank me. Thank the person who plays you.
Yep.
So, I have a little experience with the capital city. Does anybody else? We've never discussed this.
Is it as big as Torch?
Yes, it is. You could fit a torch or many torches inside of Starfall. Tarazi, big stuff.
I've never been inside Starfall. I had an unfortunate incident near the gates of Starfall where Captain Kalkan was killed and Levi was wounded. I think those gearsmen may have thought we were an invading force or some absurdity, but that's as close as I've been to entering the city.
I've only really ever been to Torch. Well, and now all these other places, I guess. But no Starfall.
Well, it's a little bit like Yardenvay. But imagine instead of like religious Ludditism and anti-technology, it's more of a covetous mercantilist control of the resource that the Tactic League represents. So we have to hide our technology. Furthermore, we may or may not have murdered someone who is affiliated with the Tactic League. At least one. We should assume that we are known persons. This I have a little bit less to recommend. I don't think any of the spellbooks that I've picked up have magic that allow me to change my appearance beyond the illusion that I use to cover a weapon or the Halic.
How are we supposed to take them over if we can't use our weapons? Or at least the technology-based ones?
Well, when we're at the takeover part, like, when they see the weapons, that's when the taking over happens. Like, it's the quiet knife. All that.
Kira rubs her chainsaw. Oh, yeah, the quiet knife.
As it's going...
No.
Tarazi will reluctantly sheath the null blade so it just looks like the hilt of a bastard sword, and I guess in the interim use something like a silver longsword.
So, I feel a bit more confident about my ability to get us to certain places. Using teleportation magic. Like, specifically, we could leave the Halic here and go somewhere and come back reliably. Is there anything that we might need ahead of going to Starfall? We can purchase things there as well, like a replacement sword. But if there's anything people want to drop off, maybe hide, or... I know we've done a lot of preparation. This is just kind of one of our last chances. Because I'm kind of struggling to figure out how we're going to disguise ourselves. I have one spell, and it only works for me. And I need a piece of a planar creature to use it.
And you just got rid of one.
Unfortunately, Incubus is not one of the ones on Infused Self.
Oh.
I have to find an Asimar, Aphorite, Duskwalker, Fetchling, Gonzi, Ifrit, Oread, Shabti, Suli, Sylph, Tiefling, or Undine.
Well, you
That
know
was
we're
a
dead
lot of
tiefling.
syllables.
Luckily, there's no Asimars on the ship right now with you.
But yeah, that is that doesn't really help the rest of us. I don't know how much of necessarily like a reputation Rusty may have, or even Tarazi to that merit, but definitely Big Stuff and I need to look different.
We all just sneak in behind Rusty.
You could also roll a knowledge local while you're trying
Oh,
to think
I
of
have that.
ways to get by an old Starfall.
Do I have local?
That's a
The
1.
answer is not really. I do not really have local. I have a +3, which does not feel like.
Brix gets a 30.
So Brixby knows, and it makes sense that he would know this since he's been around this particular block. So the Technic League sometimes allocates what's called a carrier's badge to people that they've specifically granted permission to carry technology while in Starfall. These badges are circular gear-shaped discs made of glaukite, which are like printed in Androfan with like the Technic League's permission. Theoretically, if somebody knew how to work a forge and had a good enough idea what one looks like, it's that kind of thing you could make.
Who do we know that has shaky former allegiances to the Technic League and sleeps in a literal forge? Hope the listeners are ready for another Torch episode.
Right in.
Yeah, we get back there and we're like, yeah, Connor went back under the mountain, weirdly enough.
Trying to come up with all of the options we have here. What are those? They're like sleeves, wondrous sleeves of situations. Is that the sleeves of disguise? Is it like a hat of disguise that
There's
we
a
need?
There's a
of
hat of
disguise.
disguise,
And then
which is a
sleeves
fairly
of many
cheap item.
garments. Yeah, okay. And
Yeah,
sleeve of
sleeves
many
of- yeah.
garments just changes your clothes. Okay, yeah, I'm conflating those two things. So
Yeah, hat of disguise, if I remember right, is not a super
That's an
difficult item.
1800 gold item.
oh yeah, that is
Yeah, that's not horrible.
yeah, we could go to Torch and get a couple carrier badges and like some forgery knockoffs, and Brixby will try to find a piece of an outsider.
Alwyn steps slightly further away from Brixby.
I like willingly given, like consent's big here. Just give me a piece.
Just a little piece.
That's
Break
don't
another
make
piece of
don't
that.
make that-
Alwyn.
yeah, I was gonna say, do not make that the episode title. But yeah, I mean, Hat of Disguise is something that we could very easily pop on the people who can't cast spells or learn how to cast spells. So we need at least a hat of disguise for Tarazi if we think that Tarazi needs to be hidden.
Can't Tarazi cast spells now?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, but not that kind of spell.
Oh.
No.
You're a divine caster.
Yeah. I don't know if, I mean, the people of Torch wouldn't have, as far as like the description given to Gartone and things like that, Tarazi wasn't around for any of that, so
Right.
he might be in the clear. And can always carry Rusty around as a statue to keep a lower profile too.
Well, we can get a hat of disguise for Kira because I don't even think there are like illusion spells on the Blood Rager list. Like, I don't think disguise self and alter self and stuff like that are on your list. It does not look like it, no. So we could get a hat of disguise for Kira. Does that work with but it's a head slot, right? That would affect a headband.
No, I think head and headband slot are separate.
You're totally right.
Yeah, they are different slots.
That would
Yep.
affect your really cool beret. That's what I was thinking of.
Well, you could buy the hat of disguise as a really cool beret.
That is true.
Yeah.
Comb, ribbon, headband, cap, coif, hood, helmet, or other headwear. All right, so it looks like we could go and see Kona, and he could make us these carrying badges, and we could pick up a hat of disguise, or two. Because Alwyn, do you have the ability to change your appearance?
No, but I don't know if using a hat of disguise is a great idea.
Are you worried that it's just too low level an enchantment?
No. Well, we can get one for one of you guys and I can show you what I mean.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You can't change your creature type with disguise self because it's a.
Oh no,
literal-
his thing is one of his background things is anything that's polymorph related. That's the polymorph school that's cast on him turns him into a horrible monster instead of changing his form.
All right.
Cool.
Well, you're like a charisma caster, so you can just do untrained
Yeah.
disguise, right?
Yeah, and I have a plus 14 to disguise.
There you go.
It's twisted transformation is the trait. Whenever you're affected by a transmutation spell of the polymorph subschool, your new form is always in some way horrific, grotesque, or otherwise marked by the corruption of the great old ones.
That's fun. A hat of disguise is just an illusion, though. A greater hat of disguise.
Oh, is
you'd
it
have
just
trouble.
illusionary? It's not. Oh yeah, because it doesn't actually change you. Yeah, so actually, hat of disguise would be fine.
But
Yeah.
I mean, we can hand wave the shopping trip because we've had a couple of those lately. But if you've got the teleports and sufficient money, we can just say you do it. The carrier badges are 150 GP each for materials.
Perfect. And I'm using a normal teleport to get there, but a fancy teleport to get back.
Sounds like you
So
got a
I'm gonna-
roll.
Yep, I'm gonna do a roll. I know Torch so well that it would be great if I just pull this off on a. Yep, that's a 16. I'm all good. And then no roll on the greater teleport to come back. Brixby at that time is also going to pick up Disguise Self. I guess he'll learn it so he can cast it on himself. Do we get 2 hats? Just or do you want scrolls with, or what? Because I'm going to get just 1 scroll and learn it and then cast it on myself. Do you want multiple scrolls, Alwyn? Because you're the only one that could use those as a spell completion.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'd be fine with just a hat
Okay, cool.
because he doesn't really have anything. He always has his hood up all the time anyway, so he can just have something.
I never use my level 1 spells, so I will just get a scroll, which should cost if I remember correctly, it's 10
gold.
Less than the price of a bowl of ramen at an airport.
Or a PB&J. I'm still mad.
Was it a good PB&J?
Nah, it
Oh,
really
no.
wasn't. I could have microwaved an Uncrustable and had a better time.
Oh, that's
That'd have
just
only been
sad.
$14 instead of 20.
Are we getting 2 hats or 1 hat?
Two
hats?
hats. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's 36.
2 hats and how many carrier
600.
badges?
Do we each need a badge? Or do we just need like 1 badge for the group?
I think we should each get a badge just to be safe, because we don't know if we're ever going to be separated.
That's 600.
All right.
I am also adding to that cost. Like I said, let me just double check what the cost of adding the first level spell is with my
I
blessed.
guess that way.
I'm gonna get another cat. Since we're shopping. They should really come in pairs.
10 GP for my squirrel. And I will learn it after that.
Okay, that is done on the loot sheet. We also have, though I don't know if Sam has this stuff for it because it was a zillion freaking years ago, but we had 2 items that we failed to identify at one point and then just kind of forgot about, and they've sat on the loot sheet for forever. One of them was a gun and the other was a pair of blue goggles.
Yeah, feel free.
Okay. I'm guessing those are both tech, so I don't know why I'm getting ready to roll.
Brixby's gonna cast Technomancy on himself first. So let's really have fun.
I'll just put my dice down.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's see if rolls a 62.
Brixby rolls a 50.
So the gun is a time-worn mind render. A mind render is a cruel weapon that emits a carrier wave of light, which transmits a mass of nanites into the body of the creature struck. The victim must succeed at a fortitude save or take 1 negative level and be staggered for 1 round as the nanites flood the victim's brain and suppress long-term memories. If the victim succeeds, he is instead sickened and is immune to further attacks from the mind render for 1 hour. The creature can attempt a new saving throw every 24 hours to remove the negative level. This is a mind-affecting effect.
I feel like we're too good of a party to use this on people, which is essentially just like a energy drain.
Mm-hmm.
Plus DC 17 fort save. Probably solid. Who knows how much it is?
Yeah.
And then the goggles. Do you want another roll for those?
No, I think you're 50. We can roll too. I'm just trying to find they are VMods, which should surprise no one, I think. They are blue VMods. There we go. Blue VMods. They dramatically extend the scope of your peripheral vision, granting the effects of all-around vision to the wearer.
Ooh.
When wearing active blue
Kinda cool.
VMods, which consume 1 charge an hour, you cannot be flanked.
Tarazi.
Big
Do
T.
you have something on your eyes already? You do? What do you have in your eyes?
Goggles of night. That's where I get my dark vision from.
Oh.
Can we do 1 and 1? Like a monocle situation, but 2 monocles?
I mean, there's a huge benefit to Kira. Like, I would love if Kira just held on to both VMods, because there's like this huge benefit to Kira obviously having like a high passive perception. But there's a really big benefit to people not getting flanked, because like we're not gonna know we're in a combat with someone with rogues, like rogue levels, until as someone who has 7d6 sneak attack damage, like until you're hit with it, and then it's iterative attacks, and like so.
Big stuff. It may be safer to wear these constantly means that no one could flank you or sneak up on you or hit you for sneak attack damage. The other ones, sort of like mine, just help you see better, which, we can use when we approach a door, or perhaps... So it is up to you. It does lower our, passive perception, but...
Kira thinks about it for a second and then says, so I can still wear the really good seeing ones when we're looking at stuff, right?
Yeah, you have one on your head and one over your eyes, or maybe one dangling down on a dad chain and one over your eyes. Or maybe you connect them and twist them around and just flip back and forth, but...
I have an idea. And Kira goes in the bag of holding, which I guess also has her bag, and pulls out glasses chains and just sort of does dangles one off the front of her neck. Okay, I'm ready.
Yes.
And she will swap to those blue VMods. Let me add that to my little guy.
And now you can see behind you. It's probably pretty weird.
Brixby.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Stand behind me and ask me to tell you how many fingers you're holding up. And then hold up fingers. Don't not hold up fingers, because I know that trick.
All right, how many?
2.
That's so weird. Granted, I don't have a lot of fingers.
Right, it was I could
guess.
Yeah, right. But still. All right, we're happy.
This is excellent.
All good radio. Blue V mods. No?
All right, the other question is, what do Kira, Brixby, and Alwyn look like when disguised?
Okay, so as part of Disguise Self, for me, I can look different. I can be 1 foot shorter, taller, thin, fat, in between. I can't change my creature type. Yeah, so that's all of us. I'm gonna look like Stuart Little. I'm gonna be
Aww.
All white, and I'm gonna have immediately stains my fur, spills. It's when I wear anything white, just immediately spills coffee on it right after he changes. And it's got the little red hat. I feel like Stuart Little had maybe not a red hat. I'm gonna take the red hat off. It's not what I was going for there, but something that reminds, maybe a little propeller beanie or something, but something that really makes him look very Stuart Little.
He's just adorable.
Hello, I'm Brimby.
Kira's gonna look like Vargas. No, that's a bad idea. All right, come back around to me.
Around in Starfall as someone that you already know is also wanted.
Just turns into Brixby. You're like, wait, come on.
You said disguise self.
Look like Sandville.
Alwyn looks identical except with regular eyes and eyebrows. And all of the parts of him that are weird colors are more natural. So he doesn't have the black teeth, the black fingernails, his skin doesn't look shiny, and his eyes just look like normal eyes, and he has eyebrows. Otherwise he looks identical.
And Kira...
And he will change that if anybody says that that's a little too obvious, but he assumes that's enough.
But does his belt still have fruit on it?
Yes. Yeah, his clothing is still exactly the same. Everything is the same. He just slightly changes his face.
Oh, now it's a vegetable belt.
A lot of corn in there. It's corn. Remember, it's corn from 2 years ago now or something. We don't have to get into it.
It's got the juice.
It's got the juice. Kira is gonna look like her twin sisters the sisters that are twins, not Kira's twin sisters. Sage and Amy, but taller. Because we don't stand for Sage and Amy around these parts. Yeah. I guess I've never described how they look, and I'm going to continue to not. Use your imagination, listeners.
Everyone knows how they look in their heads.
Come on,
It's like
you know
that,
Sage
but
and
taller.
Amy. They've had 5-6 lines.
Yeah. They look exactly like you all think they look, audience.
You nailed it.
One of them has a beet-shaped dent in the back of her head. All right, so Stuart Little, a Snakeman, a not weird Alwyn, and Super Sage and Amy roll up to the gates of Starfall. There is a little bit of a line to get in because despite being a big city, there's only one public-facing operational gate. So you gotta wait a little bit as people go through one by one.
It is an airport. Jeez Louise.
It's basically an airport. The city of Starfall is surrounded by a weird-looking wall built basically from assembled scrap at a uniform height of about 15 feet tall, though there are 30-foot tall towers every so often, upon which are, of course, gearsmen mounted, watching both the line of visitors and the horizon, just, checking out the scene, because that's what they do. They're gearsmen with their one weird glowing eye. But the gate itself, once it's your turn to come up, is manned, I suppose, by one person, a Khalid of indeterminate gender, in kind of a military uniform, or more military-ish uniform than a Khalid tribes person would normally be out on the plains, and they are flanked by a couple gearsmen who stand behind the gates. And as you come up, they just sort of give you only the most passing glance and say, any technology to declare?
No. I have no technology to declare.
And I will happily roll a bluff.
Go for it.
43.
So
Wow.
good at bluffing.
That's the other skill in my headband. So I have a plus 25 to bluff now, so.
I was not expecting that number to be so high.
I mean, he is a negative, or he's like an 8 charisma rat, but intelligence, he has the trait that keys it off of intelligence.
The functionary says, perfect, wonderful, that will be 10 gold pieces each to enter the city.
No.
Right. Good price, yes.
Sorry, wait. Good price, yes. I'm sorry, I should be using my
Aw, Stuart.
diminutive Stewart voice.
Does Sky itself change your voice?
No. That's why it's all like
Yeah.
forced
Speed.
falsetto.
Yeah.
This is so much worse.
And this is such an amazing bluff check.
Right, well, here's your 40 gold.
The functionary takes it and allows you into the city of Starfall. Now, this gate lets you out on the main drag of Starfall, which is a wide avenue called the Street of Lights. It's easy to see why, as basically every step there is another building which is lit up. There are electric powered signs for inns, taverns, shops of all sorts, and various other houses, both of legitimate businesses, less legitimate looking businesses. Some things you can't even really determine what they are, but there are spidering off of the Street of Lights just numerous streets that go both to the west, which would be a district called the Kill Box, which is like effectively it's a giant slum over there, as is illustrated by the smoke billowing into the air everywhere from constantly running incinerators, which, it's really smells wonderful here. Off to the eastern side of the Way of Lights, there would be the Grit Forge district, which is sort of the first thing you come to on the east, which is the more industrial district. This is where, like, you'd find a lot more manufacturers and shops and forges and things. Then there's the inner sector, which is easy to see from where you stand because that is a big hill. It would look like a big hill were the whole city not in the shadow of the giant mountain that shines in the sun, but it's a big hill with a wide open green space that's dotted with like tents and temporary structures. But at the top of the hill stand two large buildings, a multi-domed palace, which is the Palace of Fallen Stars, and then kind of behind it and almost kind of attached to it, for like it's creeping up behind it almost, is the Technic League's headquarters facility. Now, to the north of that hill is the rich district of Starfall. That would be Sovereign's Watch, which sort of wraps around the Silver Mountain off to the north. And, of course, if you just go straight down the Street of Lights all the way across the city, there's the only other gate of Starfall, the gate that leads to the path to the Silver Mount.
So is the mount actually silver?
Well,
Also, if this has come up 40 times in the podcast before and I've totally missed it, I am so sorry.
if you look over at Foundry, I've got a picture of the city shared as the splash. Can you all see it?
We can.
You'll notice
Yes.
3/4 of a spaceship sticking out of the top of the
Oh,
mountain.
yeah, I
over
do
Yeah,
notice that. Look at that.
You've got like a regular mountain with very clear, gigantic spaceship sticking out of it.
That's pretty silver. I assume.
So, well, I know only one person here. I wouldn't call them a good friend, but they owe me a favor. I wouldn't say that's the first place that we go, but I think that's something to keep in mind. If we wind up needing something in here, we should probably find a place to get established to sleep.
And this Connor's friend, Mockery, Dralmark,
Oh,
we
yes.
could look them up as well.
I'll say Alwyn is just kind of staying very close to Brixby and not really talking. And he looks very anxious just being in a place this big, like he is kind of like borderline freaking out. Because he already thought like Torch and Eidenvey were large.
Well, since I prepare this every day, there's no reason for us to not. Everybody just come here for a second.
And we pull off kind of to the side. And Brixby, pulls out 2 eggshells and crushes them in his hands, drops them. And now we all have telepathic bond for the next 140 minutes.
It's easier to hear each other in our head.
Oh, man. Which means you all get a running chain of thought from Kira, who is like a high school choir student in New York City for the first time.
Yeah, so
Stopping
everyone else is
irritatingly in the
dazed.
middle of the... Yeah, no, Kira's loving it. Kira's thriving. Kira's in her element. And is stopping in the middle of the sidewalk to take pictures of an advertisement for some reason, like other people have nowhere to go or whatever. I don't know. That could be one experience of not New York City. Who can say?
So you pull out the undisclosed technological item that is Cassandra Lee's artificial intelligence and use it to take pictures. I'm just checking.
You do have a regular camera.
Yeah, we have a regular camera. Come now.
Oh, we'll use that one. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pull Cassandra Lee out if you want. I won't stop you.
Kira's not raging. That's my excuse for when Kira does dumb things.
Well, as you all finally arrive in Starfall, and Brixby comes to terms with the horrible, horrible mistake he's just made, and all the psychological damage that instant access to Kira's internal monologue will do to the party, I'm going to bed.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, Sam.
Let's get a pretzel.
Good night, Kira's internal monologue.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, Kira's internal monologue.
Hey, do you think that's the building they wrote Rent about? That one. Or do you think it was that one? That was probably that one.
My investors would rather I handle it quietly.
Pod against the machine. Against the machine.
Pot Against the Machine is property of Network Against the Machine LLC, all rights reserved. Pathfinder and the Iron Gods Adventure Path are property of Paizo Publishing. See their website for more details. Theme Against the Machine was written and performed by our own Zach. See the show notes for additional music and sound licensing. If you enjoyed the show, we encourage you to leave us a review.
Oh, it's coming closer. Can you hear it yet?
Lawnmower Man.
It's getting closer. It's farther away. This is great. It'll be very fun to edit this one.
Well, like, I knew people, like, back before 9/11 when you could just, like, walk into any part of an airport without any kind of security check that would go, like, to airports to, like, shop or eat and stuff, like, because they would, like, buy stuff at the duty-free stores and all that kind of stuff. Like...
Yeah, you couldn't bring your big gulp full of nails anymore.
Oh.
He
hey, what's up,
stopped
Craig?
thinking.
But
40
I will-
minutes later.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right.
He wanted to get in for the
he's
airport
interested
restaurant talk.
He's like, oh, y'all talking airport?
Yeah, Tarazi shakes his head at the timing of yard work.
Oh, that's somebody's name. I thought there was like a little plane floating up here on the picture, but it's Jeff.
That's a cursor.
I thought there was a plane over there, but it's
It's a
Jeff.
bird. It's a plane. It's a Jeff.
It's Jeff.
Jeff is out of the chat and into the sky.
Aw, Jeff.